Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I better not say you not a man.
That's it.
How about that surprise? Two of my favorite ladies in all of Texas, Jaclyn, Alex. Were you surprised at all?
Yes, that was super cute. I'm so proud of you of your skills.
Well, it's called an assist with Vimeo. You made it when you have your own open, by the way.
I know. I'm thinking we need to get with you on how to make one for our podcast too.
Yeah. We will do that. So I can't believe I've gone 121 prior episodes, and you guys are just now part of one. Please, I'm asking for your forgiveness, both of you.
Better late than never.
Right.
It's fine.
Right.
We'll see how this podcast how it goes, and then we'll see if you deserve the forgiveness. Yeah,
and
just
the cat.
Cheers.
So cheers. Beverages up. I'm being
pinkies up.
Yep, absolutely. Up on both. So, Stories Inside the Man Cave, episode 122. We're going to call them the Partin Me Alex Podcast, girls, because that's the name of their podcast. They are based out of East Texas. All three of us are Stephen F. Austin graduates, proud Lumberjacks or Lady Jacks. So, it's my first episode that I've been able to produce and be very biased, if you will. But these two ladies have done something that not a lot men or women have done. I mean, there's been a lot of podcasts which were launched during the lockdown way back 2 years ago, but you guys have stuck with it and built a brand where you're the only podcast which really covers Stephen F. Austin athletics. And before we move forward, we got to give a big shout out to our guy, Kevin Hutchison of Realty Austin. He's an Austin OG. He's been in the real estate game, which is very lucrative across the state of Texas, but he's now part of the San Antonio MSA. So you have your home needs, anything you're on the market, he will do his best to find you one that maybe you have a home that you have conceptualized. Give Kevin Hutchison a shout, and you'll see his information during the middle break. Now, Alex and Jaclyn, we'll start with Jaclyn, who's to your right on the screen. We'll work our way down. It's not favorites. It's just from the top down. Jaclyn, first off, tell me a little bit about this podcast and how you guys came up with the idea and where it is now and what you guys may have planned for the future for it.
Okay. Yeah, gladly. So first of all, I feel like Dr. Evil sitting here.
Stroking the cat.
Stroke that cat.
Here he is. So I believe this is our fourth season doing the podcast, right, Alex? Yeah. So
4 seasons.
So it kind of really, I know it sounds whatever, but it pretty much happened organically. Kind of started out, Alex and I went to all the games together. I was really close with one of the assistant coaches, Wade Mason, and so we would sit in his seats behind the bench. Typically, I would go out with him after every game and just give my complete dissection of the game, like it or not. Here's what I thought. Then Alex kind of started joining us, and we love sitting right behind the bench because we like being right by the action, hearing everything the coaches and players say during the game.
Good and bad.
And then we had our own little banter during the game. And then one day we were just kind of like, someone should be able to hear all of these hot takes that we're giving.
Absolutely.
So we just started doing it, and then we just never stopped. So that's how it happened.
Pick it up, Alex. There's so much more to this story. That was a good start. That's a lot of momentum that Jaclyn initiated there.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. That's pretty much how it started. It wasn't any sort of like big, anybody asked us to do it. We really just honestly started doing this for ourselves. Right. And if people just happen to listen to it, then great, cool, wonderful. We first started just recording it. and then uploading it, and people would listen to it, with no video, just audio. And we soon started to realize that, especially during the pandemic, when that first started kicking off, that, people needed to see something. They needed to watch something. It was just another way of engaging the audience. And so we decided to, thankfully from Sean, he gave us the great idea of using StreamYard, which we're using tonight. It is just such a great platform for this. And I'm so glad that you told us about it. And now this is what we use just religiously for all of our live episodes. And so we started going live at the beginning of this season for every single episode. And it's really changed the dynamic and how we can interact with our fans. That's weird to say. Let me.
You have fans. You have a fan base now.
We really do. And it's kind of wild because there's even a lot of people that are fans of our podcast and fans of us that aren't even SFA people. They're just
nice.
One of our main fans, he and Alex connected on Twitter because they were both Astros fans.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, by proxy through that, became an SFA fan. And now he listens to every episode. He lives there in Austin.
Does he really?
Or does he live in Houston?
He lives in Houston, and he's a huge Astros fan, like Jaclyn said. And literally, we had never met him until I went to the World Series game this year or last year in Houston. And I met him for the first time in like 5 or 6 years, the first time I've ever met this man. And he's a big Longhorn fan. His name is Longhorn Dave.
I know who that guy is.
You know Longhorn D. Everybody knows this guy. And so he started listening to our podcast. He's not even an SFA guy. He's not even from our school. And he just started listening to the podcast and giving us his commentary and his background about his perceptions of what we're saying. And it's just so funny. It's just been really wild kind of 4 years of how this all has really just shooken out.
It's amazing how the relationships are built, with random people.
And we are so glad that you turned us on to StreamYard because, like Alex said, before sometimes we would like tweet and say we're doing an episode. Do you have any questions, any comments, or whatever? But I think our engagement's gone through the roof. We started using StreamYard because people will watch and type out their questions while we're doing it. And then we can actually go back and forth on that point because if they just tweet a question and then we cover it on the episode, there's no back and forth. But when we're doing it on StreamYard, we give our kind of response and then they can respond to that and we can show it and then discuss further. So, yeah, I think our wildest, randomest fan that I ever could have imagined to be a fan of our podcast is actually a group of guys that run the Cat Fans Twitter. Yeah.
Yes, they're very active with you guys.
They are. I've never expected. They're our biggest rival in the world, hated rival. And that they'll comment on all of our stuff. They support our stuff. They love listening to our podcast. And whoever it is that I keep commenting and discussing and DMing things back and forth with, we want to meet this person, yet refuses to show their face.
And also, more importantly to note, the few times that we've had any kind of pushback or negative feedback, literally whoever runs Cat Fans has messaged us and been like, y'all are the most dedicated fans. You're huge supporters. You're coming from a good spot. Don't worry if somebody has something negative to say.
Our biggest supporter, one of our biggest supporters is our mortal enemy.
No, I think that shows you the power and the reach of these podcasts and everyone's searching for something. But one thing I've noticed about you ladies that I think a lot of people would love to do that may have it on their horizon of plans or bucket list, but you guys, not recently, but you have been on some fun road trips with the Stephen F. Austin basketball program, which I want to go ahead and say since 2002 has a ton of 20+1 seasons, regardless of what the NCAA says. Those wins have not been vacated, nor will they ever. You're not taking it away. So tell me both of you, some of those basketball road trip stories, memories that you'd like to share. Maybe I haven't heard of yet.
We have two major ones that we can discuss, which first and foremost, of course, as you know, would be the Duke game.
That's always going to be number one.
Right.
And then most recently, the Kansas trip. So the Duke game, and I'll just briefly start it off and then Alex can contribute. But I will say the difference that we kind of felt between the Duke road trip and the Kansas road trip, obviously game-wise, the Duke one was much better because we got the win.
Obviously, yeah.
broke the streak and all this and that. But the Kansas trip, I feel like all the people who were going really kind of collaborated a lot more on like when and where they were going to be. And we really had like a pretty good group, like maybe 15 of us who sort of went around and did everything together. So it was just an awesome weekend. Like we could have lost the game by 50 and I still would have been like, that was one of the best trips I had, you know?
Yeah.
But no, the Duke trip definitely was one. So like anyone who knows me knows I've been a huge Duke fan my entire life. Huge Coach K fan. I've been to a couple of Duke games before, but never at Duke. Like I've been to Duke games whenever they played in the tournament in like a region that played in Houston or something. But that's always been a bucket list item for me. And so as soon as we found out, I was like, I don't care what we have to do. Like we're at the game, right? No expectations. We could get beat by 50. Don't care. That was a huge, just to even be in the gym and see like my alma mater on the court with Coach K's team was enough for me. But, you know, then we went and won.
Shocked the world.
Yeah. I mean, I can verify Jaclyn had maybe a few tears in her eyes when we got when we walked into Cameron Indoor. She didn't full on bawl like I bet that she would have, but no, it was just, you know, it was an absolutely memorable trip at the game. The game was the best, obviously. Game was the best part of the trip. We had such a great time at the game. Again, like Jaclyn said, we could have lost by 50 and still would have had a great time, but it just so happened that we went to OT and then buzzer beater tip in from Nate Bain. I mean, the tip in heard around the world. I mean, and then I think the best part, obviously, yeah, the win, the upset, #1 Duke down at Duke and you know, at Cameron Indoor. But all the stuff that happened afterwards with Nate, with all of the, you know, the GoFundMe and all the raising of the money for his family's church and their home in the Bahamas, like that was just the biggest intrinsic like benefit from that entire thing, was just all of his stuff that he was able to collect and do for his family because of that. You know, who would have thought that because of one little tip in victory that his GoFundMe would go from a couple $1,000s to a ton of money. Like, I don't even remember how much the ending was. It was like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 or more. I don't remember what the final total
was. It was like 100. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was insane. And it's a matter of like 48, 72 hours. It went from a few thousand, like pretty decent money that'd be nice to help them with something, but it exploded. And a lot of it was people commenting like, I saw the game, congrats, here's, you know, $50, or, oh my God, you finally beat those Dukies, here's, you know, $100. Like stuff like that on the comments. And I'm just like, this is wild. So just a fantastic trip. Definitely the Kansas trip though was by far the most fun outside of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game was cool. Game was exciting because again, it was Kansas.
And we looked good. We did. We looked good.
Looked great.
Could have won.
Could have won easily. Looked great. We were up in the damn rafters, basically. I mean, if we could have been swinging from the rafters as far up high up as we were, but they were still good seats. It was a cool environment. I mean, loud as all get out towards the end of the game.
And that one was a huge bucket list one for me too, because honestly, growing up, like Duke and Kansas were my two favorite teams. And whenever I was in high school, my dad every year would take me to a Kansas game when they played a Big 12 team. So like I saw them play at Baylor and at A&M, whatever. But again, my first Kansas game at Kansas, which is a huge bucket list item for any college basketball fan.
Right.
And it just so happened that the game was the day before my birthday. So
Hell of a present.
Little birthday.
It was a nice little birthday present for her.
It was.
Yeah, we had fun.
I mean, like Alex said, it was just the camaraderie of our little group, and then we met. I guess the day before the game, we met an SFA alum who lives in Dallas, whose son goes to Kansas.
Oh wow!
So he had come for the game, and his family like one side of his family is from Lawrence. And so he knew all the spots. His uncle used to own one of the bars that's like the number 2 Barstool bar in America or whatever.
I saw those photos. Now that's coming back to me.
And so
I think it's called, is it called the wheel?
that's how we knew about the wagon wheel. And so he took us to a bunch of spots. And anyway, I mean, we just had such a good group and we had so much fun and it was great. It was a great trip.
Yeah, it was a really fun time. I think, again, the coolest part was just all the fun things we did outside of the game, other than the game. The game was fun, don't get me wrong. But just all the cool things we did. We had amazing food. I mean, just knockout, delicious food. We basically, the day before the game, just went on a major, like, town bar crawl, food crawl is what we literally did. There was, like, 10 of us or more. And we just had a great time. We just had a really, really good time. But other than those 2 road trips, we have gone to other big game wins that, again, people kind of counted us out against. LSU, for one. Again, these might be the ones that were taken away from it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
We don't even count that, so it doesn't matter.
No. So, yeah, I mean, LSU, last second bucket.
Baylor.
Twice.
And Baylor, the Baylor one was the day before my birthday also. So I was kind of hoping that luck would extend to the Kansas game. It didn't. But, again, I wasn't upset. We looked good.
But, I mean, considering I think our luck is pretty good. I mean, we're like 4-1 when it comes to big games and going to and getting good wins. Yeah. Ish. Yeah.
There's a tremendous
good stats to me.
Personally, when I was in Oklahoma City, I got to witness them beat OU and Blake Griffin. That was a big one for Danny. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, and then they beat Oklahoma again 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's become an old hat. But one of you mentioned the SFA win at Duke, Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to pull up this photo, and I want you guys to just tell me what first comes to mind and the emotions you felt at this very moment when you were there.
I think I was like on my knees trying to not pass out.
I mean, utter shock. Like I'm not normally tongue-tied and or at a loss for words. I'm pretty chatty.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know what to say for a good 5 minutes because I couldn't even believe that it just happened. Like, Sean, if you want to know what we thought and what was going on through our minds and through our heads during that moment, go watch our live video stream that we did on Facebook at the game that I was holding on to my phone, like going back and forth, like freaking out, streaming the game live on Facebook. And then just a whole snowball effect after that. I mean, people trying to get in touch with us, our phones ringing off the hook. I was like, I have no time to answer phones. I'm celebrating. We're falling over each other because at the Duke game where we sat behind the team and where they have the bleachers, it's bleachers, but there's like pads on top of the bleacher. Yeah. So standing up on the bleacher to like see everybody because everybody's standing up. So you have short and shorter, trying to see over all these people. Like, I'm having to look through windows here to see what the hell's going on. And it's like, it's a madhouse.
It was wild. I know I went to my knees immediately. And then pretty shortly after it ended. So I have tried, and here's the thing. We've discussed it at nauseum on our podcast.
Yeah.
I invite my father to many things. And when I invite him, I actually want him to come. The problem is I think that sometimes he feels like he's going to be encroaching on our good time because my father doesn't drink. But I'm like, if you're ready to go, like you can leave after the game and we can do our thing, whatever. Anyway, right. I really wanted him to come to this game and I invited him. And I think he felt like he was intruding on the good time. And he was like, I don't know if I want to like take my first Duke game to like watch us lose to them. And I was like, you can't go in with that mindset. Like, because everyone thought like, why would we expect to win this game?
Right.
Like,
I personally, I wasn't.
We would have been happy to play them within 20. I mean,
yes.
Central Arkansas played them 2 weeks before and got beat by 50 points. So like, he was like, I think I'll pass. I'll just watch it from home. Well, then like 30 seconds after, he and I are texting the whole game. He's like trying to call me and I'm texting him and I'm like, it's too loud. I'm not going to be able to hear you if I answer it right now. Like, and also my father goes to bed at like 10 on the dot. So I'm like, how long are you going to be up? Can I call you back? And he's like, oh, I'm going to be up for a while. Like, I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. Like, we're all wired.
So I think maybe the best part of this video, this picture, other than everybody's faces, like, you know, big game Dave's face, Nate's face, but right here over on the right hand side is Nathan Sabo. He's one of the at this moment he was a manager for the team, and now he's one of the grad assistants for the team. Right before this picture was snapped, he got sucker punched right in the eye during the celebration.
It might have been right after this, but
it was at some point either before this picture or after this picture. Like, everybody's jumping up and down. At one point, I think it was either Calvin's hand or somebody's hand came up, and you could just see it going boom right into his eye socket. And it's the funniest thing. He had like a black and blue eye.
He literally has the video of that moment as his pinned tweet on Twitter. And it's like, yes, I'm the manager who got punched in the face after the Duke win.
But I also think the best part too, other than that, and again, the faces, is all the surrender cobras and freakouts in the background.
Yeah.
Oh,
Literally
they're just like, oh my God, this did not just happen.
Yeah. I think that when all these pictures started coming out from the Duke game and we were looking at them, I think that was the funniest part, was seeing all the like this utter shock and disbelief of all of these Duke fans. Like, what did we just witness? We just got beat for the first time since, what was it, 2000 and
by a mid-major in like 12 years or whatever it was, home streak.
Oh, it was almost 20 years. I can't remember what it was, but
No, it's
20 years, something like that. 2000 and something. It was insane.
Non-conference home loss.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was
I remember. Yeah,
Wild.
I lost all emotions.
And then, after the game, we stayed in the Cameron indoor little outside atrium area waiting for the team. There was at least 100 of us or whoever, all of us, basically all the fans that came to the game. We all stayed after and waited for the team, chanting and hooping and hollering. And I don't think that the people that worked there knew what to do with us, because I don't think that they had ever seen that happen before. So they didn't know what to do. So we're all out there going, SFA, like waiting for them and the team to come out. And then finally they all started coming out and rolling out slowly. And one of the first people that walks out is freaking Kevon. And he just has the biggest smile on his face. I swarmed him and I grabbed a selfie really fast. And I was like, what the heck just happened? And then Keller comes out all swagger like Keller does. You know how he is. He's like
it's just a normal Thursday night or whatever.
Oh
just
my God.
a casual Saturday. Yeah.
Normal Tuesday, whatever. I think it was a Tuesday.
Oh my God. Keller,
right, exactly.
Keller cooler than cool.
He literally is the definition of a cool cat. He calls everybody else cool cats. Yeah. But he is the cool cat.
I told you what he told my nephew, right?
I'm sure you have, but we've slept and drank since then, Sean. So
Casa Tomas. And I introduced him. And he shook my nephew's hand. And he said, Coach Keller immediately, without hesitation, said, good to meet you. Have you worked a day in your life? Your hands are very soft. So
now that's coming back to me. Yes, I do remember that.
Absolutely hilarious. So the Partin Me Alex podcast, girls, you know, Alex, you're in Nacogdoches. Mm-hmm. Jaclyn, you're in Tyler now. So there's Nacogdoches. We'll have some fun with this. Perception versus reality of Nacogdoches.
Oh boy.
What are the perceptions that you got? I know I've heard a ton of them, but this is about you ladies. What's the perception that you ladies have heard commonly or often, but the reality is?
So probably one that I hear a lot is that, again, typical East Texas town, you know, middle of nowhere, nothing to do. Maybe that was true 10, 20 years ago when there wasn't much to do, but reality is there is a lot to do. I know a lot of college kids even now say, well, there's not a lot to do, man. If you're not 21, there ain't a lot to do. Okay. And like, what do you need? I mean, other than bars, and bars, what else does a college town have? Like,
it can't all be like Austin, Texas.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we're not Austin. If you wanted that atmosphere, you should have went to Austin. Like, you came here for a reason, knowing full well that we probably have, five bars, a brewery, a winery, a distillery, multiple restaurants, and then that's it. So I don't know what you're expecting, but that's the reality. There is stuff to do, but the perception that, oh, there's nothing for me to do, you knew that coming in, babe.
Well, yeah, but also Alex is right. Like, just from the time, even like a few years before I moved out of NAC to now, like, we have a brewery, we have 2 wineries, we have a distillery, we have like the city and the chamber, I guess, and I don't know the names of all the entities, but have really made a good effort of putting together lots of stuff to do. Like, there's always something going on. All you got to do is like pay attention on social media. And if you're a millennial or whatever's after that, like,
I mean, there's concerts, there's live music all weekend. There's live. I mean, we are one of the live music capitals of tech, like live music every weekend from literally the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, there's live music constantly. There's music concerts, like big concerts that come here. I mean, come to Bonita, come to our festival park. There's concerts that come to SFA. There's festivals, Blueberry Festival. I mean, we have stuff constantly all year round. So don't give me this BS that there's nothing to do.
Like, really good stuff going on. Like, this summer,
Right.
they had an Eagles tribute band concert that we went to that was so much fun. I remember not much of it, but what I do remember, they were really good.
They were. We had a great time that night.
And like SFA put on a little event. It was after so what used to be in your kind of time, Sean, Midnight Madness. Now they have it like 8 or 9 p.m. So it's not called Midnight Madness anymore, but they call it Jack Madness. But Wally worked really hard to put together a Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band concert after it. Amazing. Like,
so
these guys are so good. So there's always fun stuff going on. There really is stuff to do.
Side note, they're coming back again, that Red Hot Chili Peppers band.
When?
Let me know.
When,
They
though?
were good, Sean. I mean, if you like Red Hot Chili Peppers, these dudes jam.
They were good. It was a lot of fun. And like,
Give it away now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So
it was bomb.
I have to add to that. There is that perception of East Texas, but if you're looking for a smaller student body, like medium, 11, 12,000, a city which loves the university, all about Lumberjack sports. I mean, I had a great time when I was there. Now it's just like on steroids. It's magnified 100 times. It has more of a larger city amenity, so to speak. That's why I try to bring people with me who have never been, and they leave. We go back to Austin. They're like, whoa, that's not what I expected, in the most positive way.
Right.
So,
that's typically what happens when, I mean, again, like, you always pop up on the screen that, you know, for doing your brewery promoter. So yeah, like, I work at the brewery as their social media manager, and that's probably the first thing. And Jaclyn works at the brewery too. She does all the music.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the first things that people will say when they come into the brewery is that they did not realize, first of all the things that were available for people to do coming out of town as visitors. I mean, yeah, we know it's the oldest town in Texas, so there's a lot to do history-wise, like a lot to do. So if you love history, you love museums, you love learning about the history of Texas, things like that through the eyes of its residents, then obviously coming to Nacogdoches is the place to go. But there is also so much more to do. There's antiquing, there's shopping, there's good food, you know, mom and pop restaurants. We have that brand new wine bar, cottage wine bar right next to the brewery. Great food, ton of wine, good music as well. I mean, there's stuff for people to do that, again, you feel like you're in, like if you go to the Cottage Wine Bar or the brewery, like you don't feel like you're in a small town in East Texas. Like you feel like you are in, you know, maybe a suburb of Houston or Austin or Dallas. Like you do not feel like you are in BFE East Texas.
And you know what? One more thing I'm going to add on that when you're saying where you don't feel like you're in Nacogdoches. So the other perception versus reality thing that like just really grinds my gears, especially being from NAC, is this is what people in NAC do. They bitch and bitch and bitch and moan about not having specific things. And then when they get them, they're like, oh, well, it's too expensive or it's too good. Okay, so case in point, like, you know, people are always like, well, there's no good, like, really fine dining experiences in Nacogdoches. And then we get the Republic Steakhouse at the Fredonia Hotel. You walk in there, listen, I've traveled the world. I've traveled the U.S. You do not think you're in Nacogdoches, Texas when you walk in that steakhouse. And then people are going to be like, well, it's expensive. Well, if you want to bitch about not having a nice fine dining experience that doesn't feel like you're in Nacogdoches, then you're gonna like.
You're paying for the ambiance, the experience.
Exactly.
You want these nice things. It's gonna be a little more expensive.
You're gonna pay for it,
like Chili's dinner.
Right. Exactly. No, Jaclyn, I'm gonna concur and touche that exactly. Literally shots fired, because that's the thing. I say that all the time about the Fredonia Hotel. The redo that they've done on that is extraordinary.
Phenomenal.
It feels like when you walk into that thing that you're literally in 1950s, like Rat Pack.
The mid-century modern is my favorite.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it works for that hotel, and it looks so good, and you have such a wonderful experience there. You know, the Nine Flags bar, all of it. It's fine dining. It's boutique hotel to the extreme, and it's fantastic. But you walk out of there, and right across the street is a B&B that takes you back looking like you're in 1800s. Like that's, you know, the Jones house is right across the street from this beautiful hotel that they've redone. And you walk into the Jones house, and it literally looks like it looked like in 1800s. So, I mean, you have like this give and take of fine dining, you know, boutique experiences for people that want to pay it. And then you also have those bed and breakfast type locations for people that if they want that little kind of like more slower paced environment. Exactly. And it's all right there in downtown. It's all walkable. I mean, easily walkable. And it's just, again, like it's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family if that's your thing. You know, it's a great little town, and it doesn't feel like a little town anymore, but it still is comparison to others. Obviously, like I grew up in the Woodlands. Believe me, I am very much aware of fine dining experiences and paying more money from things. Like that's where I grew up, in the Woodlands. So moving from that to this, I mean, again, I can tell you firsthand that I prefer this, hands down.
So and the other thing. Oh no, go ahead, because mine's kind of.
Oh no, go. I want to hear this.
Okay, so I was going to say the other thing to kind of add to that is like what I think that people don't appreciate to the fullest extent is the ability and accessibility they have to a D1 college athletics program. Because you know, if you live in Austin and you're going to go watch UT men's basketball play, like it's going to be a whole production of having to pay in park and get tickets and get in there, and it's not going to be easy.
Not very cheap.
And students who even go there, or A&M or whatever, like they have to buy sports passes and choose what sports they want to attend. Okay, SFA, these students get in free to everything.
Free.
Everything. And then even from like a community standpoint, like neither of my parents graduated from SFA, but you know, my dad's a huge SFA supporter and just a huge sports fan in general.
Neither of mine.
My parents live like literally 2 minutes from the Coliseum.
Same.
And so it's like when my dad wants to go to a basketball game or even a volleyball game, he loves going to the volleyball games. It's like he hops in the car 15, you know, he could go 15 minutes before the game starts, leave the house, pull up, park, walk in, and be ready to watch a D1 college athletics program play. Yeah. Like, you can't really get that very many places. You know what I mean?
It is. It is a whole production. Like in Kansas, like it was a production to find.
Yeah, it is. It's become
It was a production to figure out how to park. Thank God we had Uber Andy in an Uber. We literally like got dropped off because otherwise we'd have been absolutely parking in Timbuktu. These people that live here, that go to school here, they have to park so far away or get bussed over from a parking lot to the dang stadium. It is wild. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool environment, cool experience. But to me, I was like, this is a lot. Having what we have here, where like Jaclyn said, leave 30 minutes before the game starts, if anything, for basketball. Get there, park, walk in, get my ticket scanned, grab a beer from the concession stand, get back to my seat. I've left 30 minutes before tip-off, and I still have time to go and BS and talk to people before tip-off starts. Like,
it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. So I totally agree with what she said. The convenience is everything. And it's not like our teams are, crappy.
No, like almost every program we have, I feel like is pretty elite in their own
ways.
Yeah.
Football is getting saved by Colby Carthel one freaking hike at a time. Like
women's basketball, outright WAC champions. Men's basketball fighting for
one win
away from a share of that title. Yep.
Like she said, football back on the up and up. Volleyball destroys everyone
because Debbie Humphreys is a beast.
She's a goat.
She's the goat. Women's bowling, the only national championships that we have as a university. Like now we have beach volleyball, which my parents have been to a couple of games and they love it. I mean, everything we have is good. Soccer, women's soccer.
With Tony. Yep. Baseball with Coach Cardenas.
No, he's that guy.
One word, 2 words. Hunter Dozier. Yep. There you go. That's all you need to know.
Cardenas, I tell everybody in the baseball family that Johnny Cardenas does more with less.
I have literally co-signed that. He is a magician.
Doing the most.
Yeah.
And on and off the field. So actually our last episode before tonight, Alex and I had him on. And yeah, he does more off the field, court, whatever have you, probably than any coach we've ever seen. And he's just so amazing. And now my cat's come back again.
He's been the head coach at SFA for 14 years, Sean. 14 years.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He was assistant under Donnie.
And one of our favorite things about him, he is literally the biggest supporter I've seen of any SFA athletics program coach of all the other programs.
He supports everybody.
He is constantly on Twitter supporting everyone.
He's a great guy.
And I love that.
Fantastic human being. Yeah. We digress. Here and talk about this for 8 hours.
Yeah, we could. So here, people need to follow us on our Facebook page, Stories Inside the Man Cave, and on the YouTube, and follow Twitter at Stories Man Cave. Where can people find Partin Me Alex podcast?
There's multiple places there, Shawnee boy. Hello. So you could follow us on Facebook. Just again, Partin Me Alex. You could follow us on Instagram. Same thing, Partin Me Alex. Everything is Partin Me Alex, so there's no differences or changes. Twitter at Partin Me Alex. Same thing on YouTube, Partin Me Alex. I mean, it's all the same all the way across all of our platforms. So you can follow us on any one of those. If you ever want to watch our live podcast episodes, they'll be live streamed through Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So again, you can watch it on any of those three. You can watch them live, or you can watch it later on if you miss it. And of course, we also do upload every single episode, the audio, to Anchor. And then from Anchor, it gets distributed to, Google, Spotify, Apple.
And all the platforms.
All the platforms. Yeah. So you can listen and watch us on many different platforms, whatever you desire or choose. There are many avenues to choose from. So
yeah, give them a listen, especially if you're an SFA alum. Do so. Like them, follow them, subscribe to them.
Like Alex said, on anything, it's Partin Me Alex. So just whatever platform you want to find us on, that's it. But we should explain very quickly what where Partin Me Alex came from.
I was just about to, this is why we have ESPN, bro. I'm telling you right now.
So we did kind of open up to the public when we decided to do this on Twitter for recommendations. And we definitely have to give credit where credit is due to Scott Allen. Do you know Scott Allen?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you do. Okay, so and it was the perfect suggestion. Like it just checked every box to do Partin Me Alex, because my favorite sports talk show is Pardon the Interruption.
Yes.
So kind of a little play on words, Partin Me Alex.
I like it.
Pardon the me interruption. I'm a big interrupter, so it just works.
So that's where
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, that's how it worked. That's how it came from. It came from Scott. Scott threw it out there. We had many different suggestions of our own ideas and then other people, but that one just worked. It just fit. It's on our license plates. I mean,
yeah, we have the SFA plates. I have Partin and she has Me Alex.
Which continually I get questioned. Why does your license plate say Millix?
Oh, Millix.
Melix.
If you don't know, you don't know. It doesn't make sense.
You don't understand it,
See,
then just get out.
Partin Me Alex.
Literally, MEALX. Melix.
That's now I know the genesis of this whole. I did not know that till tonight. I had no idea.
Yeah, so you'll know when I'm around. You'll know when I'm at some place because you'll pop up and you'll see my white Hyundai and you'll be like, "Oh, there's Alex Melix. It's me, Alex." Yeah,
literally. Oh. Okay, we push the SFA plates on every podcast episode, and I just have to tell the story really quick since Alex mentioned how we can't hide from anyone nowadays, and I'm gonna tell a story. So it's quick. A few weeks ago, I was actually here in Tyler for a weekend, which is very uncommon during basketball season, but I think we maybe had a bye that weekend or something. Anyways, I digress. So I went to have brunch with a girlfriend. I had gotten up and done my long run that morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'll just shower. I'm not gonna put on makeup, do hair, get dressed up, any of that stuff. I won't see anyone I know. We all know as soon as you say that, you've already made the mistake, right?
Half of the town.
So I'm sitting there in this little brunch spot, and not a fancy brunch spot, or I would have put on makeup and fixed myself up, and literally one of my mom's best childhood friends who lives not even in Tyler. She lives in like Toledo Bend or somewhere. I can't remember. But her daughter lives in Tyler, and she was in Tyler for the weekend visiting her daughter. I haven't seen this woman in years, but she pulled up and she said, "I saw a car with SFA plates that said Partin, so I knew it was you." So she comes and finds me in the restaurant, and I'm like,
she was seeking you out.
I look like dog shit right now, but hi. Yeah.
When we least expect it.
Can't get away with nothing when you have those plates, but
can't do nothing.
No.
Hey, by the way, we onboarded our newest sponsor about a month and a half, 2 months ago, manscaped.com. And let me tell you, I'm going to cue something up so you guys will learn the story here. Manscaped.com, it's obviously manscaping products, and I don't think I need to talk anymore about it. I just need to show you guys.
Would love to see
the partnership here. Huh?
Can I say something really quick? So one of my favorite podcasts I listen to. So I'm a huge Sopranos fan. Love it. Have watched it so many times. So Michael Imperioli, who plays Christopher Moltisanti, and Steve Sharippa, who plays Bobby Bacala, during COVID started a Sopranos podcast where they do an episode over every episode of the show.
Oh my goodness.
And dissect it. It is amazing. But Manscaped, I'm pretty sure, is one of their sponsors. So I've heard this spiel many times.
Oh my God, it is absolutely funny. And there are new products on the horizon. So I got to test them out. But these new ones are not for strictly manscaping. They're like normal products. But that's for an episode next week. But here we go. Ladies, this is enjoy this. Laugh at my expense. Yeah, we're covering about every topic imaginable here at Man Stories Inside the Man Cave, including manscaping. Manscaped.com is so popular that they have their own periodical, a newspaper. And their top headline, "We Save Balls," is pretty popular nowadays. And, you know, they really attracted me. So much so that I love the products. And they sent me this entire package I'm going to show you. Well, the premier products of this box I just showed you, the Performance Package 4.0, this bad boy, the Lawnmower 4.0. Take a listen. That is the sound of absolutely tremendous manscaping in the man cave. So today, as you're watching this episode, I encourage you to jump on to manscaped.com and look for the Performance Package 4.0. You'll get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It is smooth, and you just feel like a piece of silk afterwards, and you feel clean. Personally, let me show you what I love the most. Right here, the ball deodorant. I know the light's a little bright here, but the ball deodorant, it smells like sweet mahogany and pheromones. Call it like you see it. Call it like you smell it.
I love that. Yeah. Smells like sweet mahogany.
I was so sad that the mic was muted during that little video because I had like some laughs and commentary that didn't get caught, but that's okay.
Oh my God, your mic was muted for sure.
Well, yeah, whenever you do stuff like that, it
that's right, it does. It automatically.
Yeah.
But
my God,
I'd be remiss. The 4.0, one of the best tools that they have that comes with it is the weed whacker. It's for your nasal areas and your ears.
Yeah.
And it does it. And for me, just for me, I don't know. I just can only speak for myself. Pain-free. Pain-free.
Oh, it's good to know.
I love it.
Nobody needs to resemble, no man for their significant other needs to resemble the German Black Forest below the belt. That's all I got to say about that. Hey, that leads us to the best part of segment 1, the Man Cave Story, sponsored by Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance. You'll hear more about him in the middle break here. We're almost there. Ladies, give me your best man cave story, meaning, or lady cave in this instance.
Man cave, she shed.
Covering Stephen F. basketball, or following the guys throughout all these years, if there is one that you love telling.
I mean, dang, other than Duke, gotta think on it for a second.
Something comical, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like we had a lot of comical stories from the Kansas trip, but maybe we don't remember all of them.
Yeah, there were. Okay, so Kansas trip was a hoot. So the day before, like I'd mentioned, we had went on this major like food and beverage tour de Lawrence. And we have to give, I'd be remiss if we don't give a shout out to our Uber Andy, who is Andy Teal. He's a huge SFA supporter as well. Season tickets to everything. Great guy. We stand Andy Teal.
He's a sick tall.
Yeah.
Tall.
So hold on, I have to interject this really quick. So the way that he got the Uber Andy moniker is because somehow I was like, you should have referenced the Seinfeld episode about the reservation. He got to the rental car to pick up his rental car, and they're like, "We're out. We don't have it." Which, do you watch Seinfeld?
I did in the past.
Okay. So I was like, you should have referenced the rental car reservation episode. But anyways, so basically the guy hooked him up and gave him like the best rental car they had, which was this like super fancy BMW SUV.
Like it was
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful car.
Yeah. And so then he ended up having this super nice car with plenty of room for everybody when he probably rented like an economy car. I don't know what he rented, but and so then he was just driving us around everywhere. And so we were like, Uber Andy.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
I was gonna get to that, but yes, you got it. So Uber Andy was clutch all weekend. He drove us everywhere. He was an absolute star, but also Uber Andy is an absolute G. And I say this because everywhere we went, he refused to let us pay for anything. Thank you, Uber Andy.
He's a generous guy.
He really is. He really is. So sweet. Like,
and we were like, Andy, no, like
literally. I mean, I was like, we have money. We can do this. Like, we can pay for our drinks. He's like, no. Like, you're not paying.
Girls, we have jobs.
We do. I was like, we're not moochers, but he's just such a great, generous man that he, and this is the best part though. Like, I was in college the same time as Andy. Like, we were in student government together. And so the Andy that's Andy now, like, is not necessarily the Andy I knew in college because he's married, has children. Like, seeing Andy with like 2 children at a basketball game, wrangling the children is really kind of funny. But anyway, so back to Kansas. We're hopping around to all these different breweries and bars, right? So we start off at one, have a few beers and eat, go to another one, same thing. We get to one of the last breweries and bars. I think it was called like Fields and Ivy. Mm-hmm. And we had Corey with us at this point.
Yeah.
Corey had tagged along because I forget where he was prior. I think he was with us, but I don't, for some reason.
Well, one of the days he drove because his like best friend lived a few hours north.
That was on Saturday.
And so he drove and hung out and then came back.
But that was on Saturday. I'm talking about Friday.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so at one point we got to Fields and Ivy, right? And so this is the best part of the story. We get there, we start sitting down, we start ordering drinks and food, order a shit ton of food, more than what we all could eat. We ordered 2 huge pizzas, didn't even finish them, had to take them back to the hotel, didn't even eat them there. I mean, okay. So at one point, Corey's sitting next to me and he goes, Alex, Andy's going to try and pay for this tab, but I'm going to just clown him and totally go and find our waiter and pay for it now. And then he's going to get so mad. Like, I don't care how much this is. Like, I'm going to freaking pay for this. We beat him to it and said, oh, no. Like, so the bill comes and it's already paid for. And Andy's like, what the hell, man? And Corey's like, gotcha. Like, you weren't going to pay it this time. We got it. Don't worry about it. Because, I mean, he was being so sweet and paying for everybody. And then the next best story about that trip was at the Sandbar. So it's like a beach club / sand bar. It's basically a beach themed bar that's about the size of my closet in the middle of downtown Lawrence. It's literally the smallest bar.
Was miserable because it was literally like 19 degrees outside. So we're all like bundled up. And then we come into this tiny little bar where it's just hot AF and there's like everyone's all jam packed up. But what are you going to do? You can't take off your jacket. There's nowhere to put it.
Literally.
Sweating your ass off.
We're sweating in our sweaters, but having a great time at the Sandbar because they're playing fire music. The drinks are cool as shit. So here's the cool story about this Sandbar. So the drinks, you order a drink, it was called the Shark Attack, right? And so it was literally a glass, all right, not glass, plastic cup, and it was a mixed beverage. And then they put a toy shark with a shot inside the toy shark's mouth, and then you could either dip it into your drink or take the shot of it.
I love it.
Isn't that cool? I know. So anyway, once you did that with the shark, the tradition is you take that little object, that little shark, and they had a huge net on the ceiling, a fishing net, and you had to chunk your little toy shark into the net above you.
And that's
this is downtown Lawrence. Like, it was so random.
So there's tons of sharks in the net?
Yeah.
Little baby sharks.
There were lots of other things that happened at the Sandbar, but
Yeah, well, that's a different podcast, a different story. That's like
I don't know if we can get into all that on this.
Oh my, yeah. There are no filters allowed in this podcast.
well, let's just say Jaclyn had a friend.
There was a very nice gal who tried to take me home from the spin bar.
You say gal?
Yes, gal.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you said.
She tried to take Jaclyn into the women's restroom.
She did.
And yeah, to be like, oh, let's go to the bathroom together. Like, let's go.
Well, at first, I was a little confused. I was just, and listen, no, I have no discrimination against anybody, but I wasn't into this, right?
Right.
But at first, I thought, I don't know. I was like, girl, I'll watch the door for you. Like, it's okay. And she's like, no, come in. And I'm like,
I want you to come in with me.
No.
You said, I see what.
Yeah, and I'm standing back watching it because again, this bar is the size of my closet, so everything is right on top of everything. We're standing like 2 feet from the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Andy and T-Bone are just sitting there watching this occur, and I'm just like, I was like, Jaclyn has herself. She's fine. I always ask her if she needs me to intervene at any point where she's getting her ass out of the bar. But guys, girls, it's open season. And so I'm like, do I need to intervene? And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, all right, cool. I always look at her. I'm like, eye contact. Like, do you need me?
Like a quick check. Like, do you need intervention?
Do you need me? Do I need to step in?
Good.
Do I need to pretend that I'm your girlfriend and grab your ass? I don't know. Like, what do I need to do?
I mean, I've seen you do it with both hands.
Yeah.
But it was
almost spit my drink out. That was great.
Anyway, so that night, let's just say the next morning, because we went to like a couple other places after that. Let's just say the next morning, we were feeling it. We needed a good heavy meal, and so we went and had that nice little meal at one of the coolest little places in Lawrence. There was actually a Bonnie and Clyde bank that they robbed and was turned into.
Oh, okay. See, I've been to Lawrence twice.
Yeah,
never have I ever been there.
It's called the Vault. It's inside of an old bank that Bonnie and Clyde robbed.
Mm-hmm.
And literally the bathrooms are where the vault used to be.
See, that's fascinating to me.
It was really cool.
About history in Nacogdoches. If you love history, Nacogdoches, go there. It's full of it. Ladies, we're going to take a quick break. That is definitely top 10 man cave story from Lawrence, Kansas. I don't know which one's better. Andy paying for everything or Jaclyn's friend at the bar.
Depends on who you are.
Equally impressive. Hey, coming up in segment 2, we're going to talk Stephen F. Austin basketball. Again, just for everybody, we're making this one a little longer than the norm. And I'm biased. I'm allowed to be biased once every now and then, just once.
Sure.
So, yeah. Stephen F. has a long winning streak. I feel in the madness. That's coming up on the other side of this break.
Let's go, baby.
For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the Stories Inside the Man Cave Boys recommended you.
Y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
This is JJ Gotch, CEO of the Austin Gamblers, and segment 2 of Stories Inside the Man Cave is next.
Alleman is in with 4 fouls. Backdoor cut by Jaclyn. He lays it 71% free throw shooter. Hensmill's wide open and he jams it.
Look at that. We're back.
Jaclyn disappeared.
Jaclyn's in the restroom with her friend.
I'm coming.
She told me to go get another drink because I had to refill mine too.
There you go. I like that.
Basketball. Let me refill my beverage.
So with the Partin Me Alex Podcast, girls, segment 2 is brought to you by farmhousedelivery.com, ATX-based company. They source organic produce grown in Texas, Texas-grown meats, everything, and you can order it, and it will be delivered to your house. I've become a fan of Texas blueberries, of course.
Ooh.
And their eggplants are to die for, by the way. And if you have a party you're planning, they'll make a charcuterie plate. They'll do anything you want. And
a charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Use the Man Cave. Man Cave as a promo code. You get 20% off of your first order. All right. So Alex and Jaclyn, you've seen almost every game. These guys at Stephen F., I'll call them Keller's boys. They're riding a 9-game win streak. All right. I didn't see that coming.
Who did?
But I saw the potential. What's your take? What are your takes on this 9-game win streak? What's different?
Ooh.
Okay. So I guess from my point of view, the start of the season, we had a lot of lofty expectations. Again, right. We had realistic ones too, because we knew it was the first season in the WAC. Right. We knew that the competition was going to be fierce because we have teams like New Mexico State, like GCU, Utah Valley, Seattle, teams that have been playing really well for many seasons. And so we knew it was going to be a difficult season. We knew that there was going to be some challenges. We knew that we were not going to come out of the season, with maybe just 2 losses. Like, we knew that this was not Southland. We knew it. So start off the season kind of rocky a little bit, like obviously non-con games, gonna get the dub, most likely, like 99% chance. But then we started WAC play. And at one point we were like 4-4, right? We took a huge L against Seattle, which we were 100% going into that game expecting to win. Like,
well, not even
expecting, but like we knew we could win.
I don't feel like we expected to win that one. The one I would say is Charlton, which I went to in person with my whole damn family.
Well, yeah, that one for sure.
The
yes.
First SFA game that we had all been at together, like probably since my brother was in like junior high or high school. And then we just shit the bed. And
that's true, we did. So I guess not expecting wasn't the right word. Yeah, expecting wasn't the right word. It was more like we knew we could win that game and we needed to win that game in order for what's happening now to start. And if we would have won that game and won Tarleton, we wouldn't be in the position. We would be head of the freaking WAC right now.
Oh, hands down. But
so that's besides the point, because after that Seattle loss, I feel, and they just came out with Caleb Beams just dropped an interview like today saying that Keller and the boys had a come to Jesus meeting, which I didn't know about, but I feel like it makes sense because after that game, it's been nonstop. It's been all gas and bricks.
The worst loss of the season, though, for real, was the Sam game.
Oh, it was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
It was a disaster from start to finish. We scored 12 points in the first half. Who does that?
I felt like I was watching a junior high girls game with that score.
It was despicable. And a lot of people don't like when we, rag on the guys and we say all the things that they've done wrong and all the, our grievances and the things that, oh, you need to do this better, do this better. Like, these are just our opinions, for God's sakes. If you're offended, maybe you shouldn't be playing collegiate freaking sports,
Well, exactly what I was going to say. Listen, here's the thing. First of all, we're a podcast. So it's not like you're logging into Google and looking something up and we're on your top
ESPN or something. Yeah.
It's not like we're headlining on ESPN. You don't turn on the TV and see us. If you listen to our podcast, you had to have looked it up and actually made a concerted effort to listen. So if you don't like it,
don't listen.
Don't log on and don't listen. But second of all, we're going to discuss every game, and there's going to be good and bad stuff in every game. Even LeBron James is going to turn on ESPN and hear people talking shit about when he plays pitifully in a game. So, like, babe, if you're playing D1 college basketball and you don't want to hear anyone simply state a stat line of when you did badly, maybe this isn't for you. Because we don't go after anybody. We don't go out to try to be negative. We literally are doing this with no pay. Like, we're not getting paid to do this because we love SFA men's basketball and we want everybody else to have the passion and fire that we do for it.
So I want to play a soundbite from Gavin Kinsmill. Gavin. That's right.
It's Gavin. Yeah. Make sure you say it right.
Gavin Kinsmill. He's a beast, but there was a part of the year he wasn't. I mean, he's a big part of the success they're having, and he has been since he's been here. So I'm going to play this, and I agree with what he says. He basically was telling or explaining why they are having such great success. This is what he had to say.
I think we figured out that our defense leads to offense, and I think we're having fun now, and I think we're finally all on one page, and we're moving as a string.
So something clicked. Was it the come to Jesus meeting?
I mean, possibly, but I also feel like, I mean, yeah, that's true. The defense does do that. I mean, but this is something that our defense has always been.
Yeah.
That's why we're called Press U. Like, that's why we're self-proclaimed Press U. Like, our defense should always be leading the way.
This is his third year playing for us, so he knows the defense. It's been the same the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, again, but there has been a big change in the dynamic we've noticed on the bench, though, because ever since, I'm going to bring up the Seattle loss. Ever since that Seattle loss, and then we go to CBU and we win, ever since then, we haven't lost a game, A. B, there's been a significant change of the dynamic on the bench. They are having a good time. So that I agree with 100%. They are having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. They're actually on the court enjoying themselves as well. They're not getting in their heads too much. I mean, sometimes they're going to. It's going to happen. They have a bad game. They get emotional. They get in their head constantly, whatever. But I feel like they are clicking and they're working together as a unit. Whereas in the past, there was a few seasons prior before COVID where you could tell that one season that we did not make the conference. We talked about this earlier on our podcast, that the one season, I cannot remember exactly the year. It was right before COVID. I think it was like 18-19 maybe, or 19-20. No, 18-19.
It was the season before the Duke win.
Yes. Okay. So season before Duke win.
Yeah.
You could tell that we were not clicking as a team. There was no chemistry. There was no having fun on the bench. I mean, the seniors did, but it was very segmented. They weren't together as a group. There was something else happening in the locker room that we weren't privy to. There just wasn't everybody was butting heads. And it's, with a team like that, it's called a team for a reason. It's not a singular sport. You cannot have all Chiefs and no Indians type thing, part that expression. But you can't have all these leaders and no followers. You're going to have some leaders and you're going to have some people that are riding the bench. That's just life.
Only 40 minutes in the game. So
there's only 40 minutes in a game and there's only 5 guys on the court at one time. You cannot have every single person on the court at once. But I feel like during that season, everybody wanted their shot and everybody thought that they were too big for their britches. And we just weren't gelling. So we lost a lot and didn't even make it in the Southland Conference tournament for the first time in a long time.
And it was super unfortunate too, because I honestly believe it was one of the years where I looked at who we had on the roster and I felt like we had the most talented, athletic, capable roster that we had in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right. Not even making the tournament. It was just devastating.
Agreed. And so now, fast forward to 2022, where we're at currently, it's a completely different feeling. When you watch them play, you can tell that ever since that loss and that CBU win, we have, again, this 9-game win streak where they're having fun, they're clicking, they're gelling, they're enjoying the game. It is a game. It's supposed to be fun. These still are kids. They're students. They're college athletes. They should be having fun. And they're having fun.
And that's what it's all about.
I'll do a quick segue off that too, because I talk about this a lot on our podcast. But that's the reason why I personally appreciate watching college basketball so much more than the NBA.
Agreed.
Because at this point, like, you're not doing it for a paycheck. You might not be good enough to go to the next level. So, like, you're doing it because you enjoy doing it. And I feel like a lot of college athletes miss that somewhere in the mix. And I get it. Like, I know it's a lot of pressure and all of that, but for me and like my family, we talk about this all the time, my dad and I. One of our favorite players on SFA men's basketball to watch is Calvin Solomon, because he literally is 99% of the game, like, he is just having a good time.
He really is.
You can tell that he's enjoying it. He's having a good time. He's not like, if he messes up, he's like, okay, my bad. Run right back down the court and like do something else, you know? He very rarely gets in his head. He very rarely gets his feathers ruffled or gets upset about anything. Like, he's just, and he plays harder than almost anybody on the team. Like, he's out there, he's working hard because he enjoys it. Like, he's just straight up having a good time. And that's what's enjoyable to watch. And so Alex and I talk about in the podcast all the time, because do we want wins? Of course we do. But like, at the end of the day, some of these guys, they aren't going to go to the next. Most of these guys aren't going to go to the next level. So like, enjoy it. Have a good time.
Yeah, and that's all it is, and it's limited. You get to wake up, they get to play, and you get to play for what has become one of the more widely known, well-known mid-majors in the country.
Exactly. Be thankful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men and women for, women's basketball who don't get this opportunity. So enjoy it for the 4 years or 5 years or however many years you're eligible
for. If you have COVID, you get 6.
Right? Or if you go to grad school and you play some, who knows how long you're playing for, but you should take advantage of it while you're here and have a good time. Enjoy it, because it is really quick. It goes fast.
No, it is.
So,
I see you guys are going to Vegas for the WAC tournament.
We are.
Lady Jacks have just stormed through the WAC. Same result, new league. Women's basketball.
They're not so good. They are so good. It's nuts, man.
It's crazy. Back in my day, Jaclyn, you kind of remember this. They were nationally ranked, and they were rolling. I mean, they were so good.
Women's basketball was like, listen, during that time period, people came for the women's game and left and didn't stay for the men's game.
It was much different times back then, But hey, visit. I want to post these. So right now, if you want to go to my personal, I'll put them up on the Stories Inside the Man Cave Instagram page. From my last visit, when I saw these two hung out, I want to show y'all some video and pictures of
video.
We didn't approve these
photos of the practice facility.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Not of the nighttime
pictures or videos.
Like video of what?
Just
We've had some
activity.
We've had some people lately posting pictures and videos, Caleb, of us that are just disgustingly horrible. So we've made it now that anytime we have to approve this, because half the time I got like 8 chins and Jaclyn has like one eye closed and like looks like she's flicking people off. I'm like, brother.
He posted a picture of me doing the double axe, but like I wasn't quite ready yet. And so one of my hands was like this. And then someone was like blocking
me. I was blocking your finger.
So it literally looked like I was flipping him off. I was like, Caleb, no.
Approval before posting.
I even told him, please let us look at whatever you're about to post first before you post it. We've already had this conversation with him. Shit list, naughty list.
Okay, bless his little heart. He doesn't have any sisters, so he doesn't understand.
Oh yeah, you got to have sisters in your life to take care of the women in your life. So on
show us pictures and videos you have.
Stories Inside the Man Cave IG page and on Twitter at Stories Man Cave. I want you to check out this practice facility that this program has. So moving on. So if Stephen F wins on Saturday, they'll clinch a share. We'll wrap it up with that.
Correct.
The WAC regular season title. Now, my question to you, We've all spent a lot of time pre-gaming, tailgating. Have Rocky Mountain oysters ever been a part of the cuisine in any of your tailgates?
Okay,
No.
so is that like calf balls? Is that what that is?
Bull balls.
Bingo.
Baby.
No, I've never eaten them. No, thank you.
Okay.
Pass.
It's on my list to eat, honestly. Like I have a bucket list of food that I would like to try before I die, and it's on there.
A bucket list of balls.
Okay.
I would love a bucket list of balls.
I will say though, I'm a picky ass bitch when it comes to
She's so picky when she eats.
not a basic
Jesus
guy.
Christ. Ugh.
I'm not eating that ever. Not happening.
Good protein, from what I hear.
Honestly, Sean, it's gonna be one of those things where I have to not tell her what it is, and then tell her that they're boudin balls or something, and then she'll eat it.
She knows my weakness.
So, somewhere on a ranch, I discovered this. By the way, you can follow us on TikTok as well. But this is absolutely hilarious. I edited this, so it's not the entire video. A guy having to eat a bull testicle.
Yeah, they're bull balls.
Nice protein supplement. Here you go.
Yellowstone shit. They don't do this on Yellowstone.
You got it? Is there dirt in there?
I'm about to eat a ball. Doesn't matter if it's dirt.
Because you need to wipe it off. Here, have a little beer.
Just pinch it and cut it.
What the fuck?
GK, are you filming this?
I got it. I'm going to send it.
All right, this is a fucking ball.
Yeah, I bet he just...
I need some more black friends.
Just a little...
Mama, I apologize. You know what? I'm doing it. Fuck it.
It doesn't look
Do
like
I
a
care?
ball, does it?
You know,
To yours? Oh.
Is it a texture thing?
What does it taste like, Robert?
Chicken.
Probably still had a little spunk on it.
Oh, he's going to throw up.
I literally almost vomited watching that.
He was over there talking and being demonstrative with the testicle in his hand, just letting it fly around.
All right, let me backtrack and say I will eat it prepared in a restaurant.
Right.
And cooked.
Right.
Yeah, cooked. I will not have it freshly cut off of a bull's penis. What are you doing?
I almost threw up watching that.
I mean, he's right. He probably does need it because that's a white person thing. 1,000%.
I need more black friends.
That's not even the comment that made me laugh so hard was when someone said, "Is it a texture thing?" That's
a texture.
I asked him what it tastes like, and he said chicken. I'm like, you a damn liar.
Ain't no way, brother.
Tastes like a protein supplement.
Tastes like bull balls, brother. Come on.
Spit it out and gagging and dry heaving.
Oh, blessings. No, for sure. I will eat Rocky Mountain oysters when they are prepared and cooked in a correct facility, not freshly shaved off of a ball.
I still will not. I'm the pickiest eater, but listen, like I know my boundaries and I won't try stuff that I know I can't handle. Like, for example, my brother is the most like courageous, adventurous eater. He'll just try anything. And our first, since you dubbed me a world traveler, our first overseas trip together, we went to this really fancy little restaurant in Paris, and my brother decides to order escargot.
It's good.
Listen, y'all, but listen, first of all, snails, no. I'm a texture person. I knew it was going to be bad. And then they serve it, and like, you know, when you're in junior high and you dissect something in biology, and you know the little pins where you like pin the frog to the tray. Literally, it looked like one of those they gave you to stab it and scoop it out of the little serving tray. And I was like, you know what? I know myself, and I know if I take a bite of that, I will like gag and possibly vomit in the middle of this like fancy restaurant.
Oh, Kitty. I saw it like morph into your frame like the Cheshire Cat.
So I passed was the end of that story. Which cat is this?
That's Chloe.
Oh, hi, Chloe.
Girl. She likes to
Kitty.
make cameos. Yeah, things it's hard to taste something while it's tasting you.
So listen, I know my boundaries, and if I know I can't do it, I pass.
I mean, if something is still alive, I'm probably going to say no.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. I mean, honestly, unless there's money on the table, there's not much. I mean, again, I'm open to it if there's money on the table. Let's go. But not just for free, babe. Like, I'll tell you a quick story about a money on the table thing that I did recently. It was worth it, 100%. But yeah,
no. Price tag on my gag reflex. No.
All right, ladies.
Yeah.
Let's end something on a positive note. What do you think about that?
Yes.
Positivity. There's too much negativity in this world.
Agreed.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
Tell me something good. Our guy, Kevin Hutchinson, he's getting a lot of love in this episode. Realty Austin, laid back, genuine guy. He'll find your home, your next home. For if you are searching Austin, San Antonio area, give him a shout. And his information is located on our Twitter site at Stories Man Cave. We'll start with you, Jaclyn. Tell me something that's positive going on in your world, or what you've seen, or what positive message you would love to deliver to the people, to the masses.
Oh my gosh, you sprung this on me. But I guess what I'll say is, you know what's coming up for Alex and I. It's going to be the next stories of the Man Cave, because Wednesday of next week we're leaving for Vegas, for WAC Vegas.
And Jaclyn, have you been there?
I've never been to Vegas before.
You haven't?
I know, it's so unbelievable. Like, all the places in the world I've been, and I've never been to Vegas.
2 nights and you'll be done with it.
I am popping Jaclyn's cherry. Vegas cherry.
So, and listen, like, I've not been having the best time of it lately on a couple of different fronts. But it's my favorite month of the year. It's like it's Christmas right now. We're going to Vegas. Normally our conference tournament's been in Katy. No shade to Katy, but
no comparison.
Katy, Vegas.
Now we're going to Vegas. I feel like it's going to be similar to the Kansas trip, because I think there's a lot of people going that we know who we're going to hang out with. And also, this is a quick sidebar, but we talked about this in our last episode of the podcast, or next last. Since we've joined the WAC, like in the Southland, really the only engagement we had on social media was the cat fans, and then we had like a Northwestern State person fan account. But in the WAC, it's like there's just so much engagement, and there's so many people engaging with us. And even like whenever we do our podcast, there's multiple fans from other schools who watch our podcast and engage and comment. And so we're trying to get together just like WAC hangout night. So it's going to be good. Like, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a weekend to get away. Obviously, very distracted from our everyday life. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That is 100%
Unless you have
true.
Snapchat, but yeah. So Jaclyn kind of stole mine, because that was gonna be mine, but no.
But thunder.
Yeah, well, no, it's fine though, because this was her first time ever going to Vegas, and so I'm excited. Here's my thing: I've been to Vegas. This will be my 4th time. So I'm excited to see Vegas through her eyes for someone who has never gone before. Because when I tell you what I have,
I want to see this.
You will. Don't worry. Don't worry. Like we said this in the other podcast. Like, if you need to be following us on all the socials if you want to see Vegas, how we're seeing Vegas, because
you'll probably see things that you wish you didn't. But
that's also a fact, because there were some things on Kansas trip that people probably saw on the Snapchat that probably it's going to come back and bite me in the butt whenever I relive it, whenever you do like the memories thing. And it's like, shit. Anyway, So to piggyback off Jaclyn's, yeah, like Vegas is going to be a fantastic time. We are super excited for it. Other things going good in my life. Work is pretty good. I have a couple fun work things coming up actually this summer. One, I'm pretty sure, fingers crossed, I'll be going to Disney this summer for a work conference. So Jaclyn, if you're not busy in July and want to meet me there, come on, I'll put you in my suitcase. You're small enough.
I can like bundle up in there. I think
easily. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Last time I was there, it was a few years back. It was pre-COVID, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, really, honestly, the biggest thing coming up in our lives, the coolest and best thing is going to be this Vegas trip. I mean, we have lots of things already planned. Yet again, Uber Andy, our boy Andy Teal, is coming, and he already has many things planned for us to do because he is a Vegas veteran.
And he has friends who work there in the industry, so he has lots of connections to stuff.
Yeah. So we're going to see Vegas. I mean, I've seen Vegas through my portal, but yet seeing Vegas with Andy is going to be completely different because there's going to be things that we'll do that I've never had the opportunity or means to do. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But yeah, we're just really excited and really just stoked for this trip. So let me quickly tell you the story where money on the table, I did something disgusting and drank something gross for money.
Okay.
So
it was at the brewery.
It was at the brewery. Let me just, preface this by it was the brewery. And this is technically something good. So we were there.
By what standards?
By money standards, because I got money for this. So we were at the brewery. It was the end of the night. So what we do at the end of the night after shifts, we have shifties. So we all drink at the brewery after everybody leaves. Shifties, right? So everybody's gone except for all the staff. We sit there and we go into the cooler and bring out not our beer, but like beer from other breweries that we have like gone off on trips and brought back for everybody to enjoy, right? Okay. So it was a long day, so we needed a lot of shifties. So we had probably like 12 different cans of shifties on the picnic table that we were all sharing and trying and whatever. End of the night, getting ready to go home, Jack, who's the taproom manager, he started pouring all the cans that had maybe like a little bit left into one little ounce pour cup to try and condense it and then throw it away. I said, stop what you're doing. $5 and I'll chug that. $5. That's all I asked for. $5. I had already had a lot to drink. Those $5 sounded great at the point. $5 that could have got me some T-Bell and a happy night. So
and regret the next day.
Lots of regret. But here's the thing. So one of the other bartenders pulls out a 20, lays it down and says, prove it. I said, for 20, I'm definitely fucking doing it. So I take this drink of mixture of 12 different craft beers, not even like normal Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light beers, craft beer, stouts, lagers, sours, gosés, pickle beer, and everything in between. It tasted like ass.
Oh,
but I chugged it. Oh, it was so bad. The pickle beer and the peppers and pickle beer made it the worst thing I've ever drank in my life. But I drank it. I chugged it. I had acid reflux after, but I didn't care because I had $25 in my pocket and I was going to get some T-Bill. I didn't care.
To add to the acid reflux.
To add to the acid reflux. But that's why you have Prilosec.
Prilosec is a supplement of champions.
Listen.
And it saves our life.
We be popping pills all the time, but they are Prilo.
But they're Prilos. Let's make that clear that they're. If you see us eating a pill, it is a Prilosec.
When you pass 30, you're popping pills, but it's that purple pill. Aren't they purple?
No, they're like, well, there are some Prilosecs I think that are purple, but like mine are like blue and yellowy.
I think the generic's a different color, but the like whatever is purple.
Yeah,
As long
yeah,
as
yeah.
you're not popping a blue pill, then I'd be concerned.
We don't need no blue pills. We
None
good.
of that.
We
Don't
good
need
on
it.
Unless
Wrong gender.
unless we had a sugar daddy,
Yeah.
which we do not.
We're on the prowl for one though. So if anybody
is
else
why we have
know,
to pay
Well, they'll be all over Vegas. I will promise you that.
oh, I'm ready. We got the low cut shirts and we're ready to go.
Just be sure to check out Fremont. That's the old downtown district, which has been renovated, redone. It's
It
cleaned
looks
up.
good.
It's very nice.
When was the last time you were in Vegas?
Oh, it was 2 years ago.
Okay. So I went last year in July and yeah, it looked great. It's still nice. And then that new hotel that they built right beside Fremont with like the huge outdoor screen TV pool at, I'm blanking on the name of the freaking hotel casino, but
it's not
it
Gold
is.
Nugget. That's
No. It's like brand new. It's 21 and up, like brand new hotel.
Not even near it.
And hold on.
But I lied to you. It's 3 years ago because literally when I got back, COVID, the world shut down a week.
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Oh, it's called the ball sack. Hold on. It's not called the ball sack. I'm sorry.
That should be the name of one. Let's copyright that. The new, latest and greatest hotel, boutique hotel in Vegas with a unique concept, ball sack.
What would be the like the tour? Like what would be like the tourist attraction at the ball sack hotel?
Wrinkle free.
A manscaping booth.
Manscaping booth with
free
bull
manscaping
and bull testicles.
Yeah. Okay, so it's called Circa.
Yeah.
Circa Hotel. And it has a huge pool and has literally like the biggest big screen TV I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, that pool was wild too. I got extremely drunk at that pool. Like
living life. That's something
maybe
good.
a little bit of but it's a story.
Well, ladies, this has been real. Jaclyn, what's your cat's name? I forgot.
So this one, listen, I'm a crazy cat lady, so I'm not even going to tell you how many cats I actually have in my home at this point. I have 4, but only 3 of them are mine. One of them I'm trying to find a home for. So anybody who wants a cat, hit me up. I got one that I'm ready to rehome for you. But this one, so I adopted this cat literally right at the time that the Last Dance documentary came out. And he's huge. Like, I'm going to try to show you. But he weighs like twice. My vet told me he weighs twice the amount of the average cat. He weighs like 15 pounds.
Good Lord.
Huge.
He's a chunk.
That's a chunker.
But he has the most just like chill demeanor ever. Like he could beat up every cat within a 30-mile radius. And he's just like so passive and chill.
Got a little hood in him.
So I named him Scotty because he
Oh,
reminds me of Scottie Pippen because he's like a gentle giant, right? Like he's a huge dude. He could whoop anybody's ass, but he's just very mellow. And like you gotta really work to like get him agitated.
He just caused the seismograph to, or he just put measurements on it when he landed on your floor. It was like tremor. Yeah. Oh my God.
I felt it in Nacogdoches.
I did too. All the way in Austin on the Richter scale.
Best cat ever.
We will rebuild. Don't worry. We will.
Ladies, this has been fun. It's a lot of fun.
We love talking to you, Sean. When we had you on our podcast,
that was honestly, a lot of fun.
We had so much fun. Right. Multiple people came and told us and commented on us and told us that we need to have you on more often because you were the best and funniest guy.
Hey, it's good chemistry here.
Oh, yeah.
It is. We got to make it happen more often.
I agree.
It's my one episode where I can go double the time I normally do and be biased.
Yes.
With 2 amazing ladies. The Partin Me Alex Podcast girls.
That's us.
We're happy we could give that to you.
You know what?
That's what you
said. It's been amazing. It's legendary.
It is legendary.
Man. So, for the OG Man Cave boys, Big Mike, Coach Mo, and Hardball Harge, and these wonderful, beautiful ladies, the Partin Me Alex Podcast girls, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.